What's going on? It's Courtney Spencer. Brian Murray, how you doing? Ariel, how you doing? How's everything? What are you talking about, bro? You're making me laugh. Good, Courtney. So listen, guys, for those of you who's on the Map Stoller group page, share this within the Map Stoller group page. Share it to whomever else is on the Map Stoller group page. What's up, John? So, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Map Store Facebook Live. Donald Yates is checking in. How do you guys feel? Hope that you're all doing good. It's been a long time since I've been able to do a live. In fact, you know, when I used to do these lives, man, I definitely loved actually doing and bringing out the information. This is something that that is my pleasure to do, and you know, I've been out in the field. I've been since becoming the vice president May 31st. I've been out doing a lot of stuff, trying to get myself out there to you know, basically make you guys, the membership, very proud to have me as your vice president. You know, you basically know what my qualifications are. You basically seeing how I was as a division chairman, and before that, you know, my job is always to work for you, the members. You know, I always preach, and I hope that you guys are very much aware that there is no separation between member and officer. We are all TW Local 100 at the end of the day, and I think that is very important that you remember that. Our union, as we know, is very political, and we're not going to get into the politics on anything. What we're going to do is we're going to stick to just presenting what the issues are, and we'll talk about those issues. I'm not going to get into no politics. I'm not going to get into those things because I pretty much hold a different position where I cannot necessarily go in the back and forth. And as long as I'm using this platform to inform you guys, then I'm not gonna engage in political stuff. So I'll just begin with you know, there's been a lot of restructuring around the Union Hall, trying to bring and I say we because every time that things are going on, it is us trying to make things better. Now, the union restructuring that's going on is to better represent the members, right? Now, since our former vice president of MAPSTOA, Richard Davis, has elevated to the Secretary Treasurer's office, he's been trying to put things into place, and make things more of a member-friendly workplace where everything is about working for the members. So in talking about the union restructuring, communication has come to mind is really very important on getting the messaging out to the membership, because you have so many forms of messaging out here on social media that whenever a message gets out there and the message is incorrect, or if the message is, you know, tainted with maybe some half truth, then it's not answered, then that's the truth that goes out, right? And we're not trying to put any particular spin on things. We want to put out what the facts are, right? So one of the restructurings, which I'm proud to present to you guys today, because I have been involved in writing newsletters since around 2003, right? 2003, 2004, somewhere in that range is when I first wrote my first newsletter. And one of the things is informing the members, and the newsletter was a representative of a Manhattanville newsletter. It was called the Manhattanville Challenger, and we used to try to keep the membership of Manhattanville informed. And that particular newsletter got out of the depot and moved on to other locations where it became a source of information and pretty popular. So that's, I'm not no professional in this thing here, but I have some historical, I guess, value to bring to communications, which is why the Union Hall has made me kind of like a liaison to the communications department. Now, it's not, by being a liaison to the communications department, it doesn't mean that I control anything with the communications department. I do not control the communications department. What I do with the communications department is give my advice, right? My advice is based on what, I deem union or union member friendly, which means the members receive the messaging. Sometimes we get lost in the messaging, and the message goes over our heads. And if the messaging is going over our head, that means they're not speaking to our members, right? So my job is to lay my eyes on certain information that's going out, and basically make it where you're speaking to our members, and that's really what my role is. Since becoming the MAPSTOA vice president, I've reinstituted the divisional newsletter, and the second issue of that MAPSTOA newsletter will be coming out. It's going to print. It should be out by tomorrow sometime, and we'll have it delivered to the locations. All right. So another union restructuring I'm involved in is Grievance and Discipline, and one of the reasons why I'm involved with Grievance and Discipline is just simply to loan my expertise on what I know about the contract, what I know about the policies and procedures, and what should be going forward, and what can be grieved, what should be grieved, what's considered the union's grievance, and what's considered the members' grievance. And most grievances that's discipline in nature is the members' grievance, right? The contractual grievances, where a grievance can impact the whole bargaining unit, it actually belongs to the union, and the union doesn't necessarily have to take a grievance forward if it will have a negative impact on the whole entire bargaining unit. So my job is to basically be liaison to that as well, and look at to make sure that we're doing the best job that we can do for our members at the end of the day. Switching gears, I'm going to talk to you guys about, well, it's not really much of a talk, but it's, congestive pricing has been in the news. We've been talking a lot about what people deem the good and what people deem as the bad part of congestive pricing. Now, as a person, I feel that congestive pricing, I wasn't one that really agreed with congestive pricing, but congestive pricing was supposed to bring funding back to the MTA, right? And in bringing that funding back to the MTA, the union will feel that, well, we can maybe negotiate those funds, right? I feel that congestion pricing is a tax on the public, and I think it's a tax on the working public. And being that I'm a transit employee, I do have to speak to the members who work out of Michael J. Quill Depot and the members of the RTO unit who work out of 34th and 10th and 11th Avenue over there. There would be an issue of you paying a tax just to get to work. And I don't think that's really fair, and I think that needs to be looked at and negotiated. Now, we do have our international president, John Samuelson, who sits on a lot of these boards, and he'll report to us on what's going on in those realms at a later date. But let's move forward and talk about let's say the MTA's claim that they're already claiming that they have no money. Now, at the end of the year, we have to start getting ready for the negotiations. In fact, we're gearing up and starting to get ready now. We're having the discussions. A lot of the members are bringing the information. If they see me, they tell me what they want, and I'll put it right in my phone, and as a legitimate demand. Maybe like I've heard demands such as dentist locations for certain areas of Pennsylvania, because currently if you live in the Poconos or anywhere in Pennsylvania, you have to go to, let's say, central New Jersey in order to see a dentist. So I thought that was a valid ask. So, I added it. And even if it wasn't a valid ask, I don't negotiate. We're not supposed to negotiate for ourselves. We negotiate based off the things that you guys want. So if somebody wants a location where they can go see the dentist, then absolutely it'll be written down and given to the committee upon acts of those questions or those documents for that matter. But the MTA right now, they're claiming budget woes. Originally, let's say maybe about a month ago, and I don't know if it's really still going on because there's some speculation on that, but the runs that they've been holding in the House, right? Now, what did it mean? What does it mean? Like, the person they'll fill the work for the day before, and then after that work, after when the next day comes and people are calling out sick, or people are AVAs or whatever, these guys are not filling the runs, and then runs are going down, and they're not using the extra list to do the right thing and cover the work, which causes a headway out there, right? And then we already know that we have a problem when it comes to assaults. The customers the public, they're angry. It's like they're treated like garbage, especially when it comes to certain communities, and the service that's provided. Now, granted, some of these customers are just not paying their fare, but I really don't blame the customer so much as I blame the way society is right now, where people basically are allowed to get away with a lot of things, right? So what we need to do is we need to tighten our grip. I like to think of going back to the past, right? And like, I come up in a disciplined home where my father, my mom, they required certain things of me, and if I was disrespectful, let's say to someone out in the street, elderly or whatever, I had to come home and pay the price for being disrespectful. And it only took one time with my father's strap to set me straight. We don't see that kind of action no more. And a lot of, and not only that, the governmental agencies that get involved with you disciplining your child, to me, is problematic too, and part of the problem. Very much so, part of the problem. But you know, who knows? I mean, people on here could disagree with me, and then that's your right to do so. But let me tell you, there's a lot of us older heads. We got the rod, as the Bible will speak on. We got the rod, and we didn't turn out so bad, right? We didn't turn out so bad. But some of these younger folks now, they're wilding. They are really wilding, and I'd like to, you know, if I can offer any, you know, suggestion, you got to stop thinking. I'm talking to my youth. Don't, especially the ones that's here on this job, don't think for now. I want to get this money now. You're on a perfect job where you can think about your future. You have a pension. A lot of people criticize the pension because it's inferior to the pension that was here before, which is the tier 4 pension versus the tier 6 pension. But have no fear. You have to fight and fight and fight to make those changes, right? It's very simple. You gotta fight to make changes. Tier 1, there was a whole bunch of tiers here before tier 6 came. Now, I'm not saying that tier 6, I'm not even pleased that tier 6 was here, but it's here. So what do we have to do? We have to fight to make it presentable, and fight to make it where you can retire decently, right? Because everything is about finances and budgets, and the city of New York and places like the city of New York, they like to claim budgetary woes, but yet they spend money on the most nonsense things, and yeah, we get to suffer. We have to pay the price. But let me move on a little bit. I just understand the MTA is already creating a budget, creating the atmosphere that they don't have any money. I want us to be ready when the time comes. You'll hear me say it again, and say it again, and say it again. But when the time comes, we have to be ready to rally together, right? We have to pull that trigger, stand up together, and say we're not going to take it no more, right? We know what this job is. This job is like a plantation style, like justice, like the way they treat some of our members, is particularly in the traffic checking department. There's a lot of discipline out there in the traffic checking department. They don't like to see the members out of there move on to bigger and better things, and it's quite troubling. And I like us to all shine an eye on it, not for the purpose of politics, but the purposes of what's right and what's wrong. And it's wrong to hold people back. It's wrong to hold people in a state of inferiority. It's wrong, and this happens right here in this company. It happens, right? So we got to be ready. All right. Going to court. All right, to support our assaulted members. Now I'm gonna talk about the brother from Stations, Anthony Nelson. He's Anthony Nelson is a brother who was assaulted in the subways for doing the right thing and helping out the passengers who were being harassed by this homeless man. Homeless man assaulted him. He broke his collarbone. Maybe tore some ligaments in the shoulder. You know, it was things that were just troubling to me, right? So, you know, as a union, it doesn't matter that he's a station agent or a cleaner or whatever job function he comes to. We have to come together as a union and stand on those court steps and demand justice. We all see that you can get locked up and turned away, and you get locked up and you will be sent home the very next day. They don't really discourage crime anymore, and we have to stand out against that. Sorry to say. I mean, I know there's so many conversations that could be said about brutality and things of that nature, but right now we have to stand very strong on our assaulted members, and you know, we are doing a lot of that. In particularly in my office, I took assaults very seriously, as always, and I have been following the logistical part of assaults through our SITS reporting, which comes from the Department of Security. And ironically, that came about because of the Bronx redesign, and we wanted protection for the people who were going to be out there as ambassadors and the bus operators at the time. So we wanted protection. So we engaged the authority to bring those folks to the table. So we had the Department of Security brought to the table. We had MTA police brought to the table, and NYPD. And the one thing that I did learn in these meetings is that the Department of Security is where all the SITS reporting are held, and the stats and the dates and the reportings of courts and court dates, the reportings of crimes and the ratings start at maybe an assault. And I learned that NYPD is the ultimate agency that does the rating on whether something stays an assault or not. So now that we kind of know the logistical stuff, we pay attention to the stats as it's brought to our attention, and then what we'll do as a union is we'll do what we need to do to make changes to whatever NYPD does in a negative fashion to us. Now, I'm not saying they're doing something negative to us personally. What I'm saying is negatively in the way we view that things should happen, such as like a spitting assault, for instance. Now, NYPD does not view that as an assault. New York City Transit still views it as an assault, but we have to really engage on these topics because you know, it's very hurtful to see one of our members out there not getting paid and out of work and family hurting because something that happened on a job. We want our members to come to work and get home safely. That's all we expect. And the court appearances are important to come to because we want our members to show their anger at what's happening. Right? Now, earlier today, I was at a sentencing hearing for a guy named Tony Burnett. Now, he, in the later part or the middle part of 2019, he went to try to catch an M11 bus out of the bus stop and was infuriated for whatever reason and took a taxi and then went up to the bus operator, took the gun out the bag to show the operator that he had a gun, and the operator was very shaken, and he went out IOD on that. And we've been supporting that member in court. I want to shout out Danny Cruz out of Manhattanville Depot, who has been steadfastly supporting that issue, and that's great. Today we was there for the sentencing hearing. The perpetrator, Tony Burnett, got 7 years. The judge gave him 7 years. I wasn't particularly happy with the time that he got, because this person, Tony Burnett, was a repeat offender of the law. He did many things. He's robbed people. He's attacked people. He still has open cases in other boroughs. He's pretty much been out there. And one of the factors that I paid attention to, and it also saddened me, to be quite honest with you. You know, when I look at the perpetrator, you know, we're there to support our bus operator. But when I'm there and I look at the perpetrator and I'm looking to see, you know, where is his family? And you know what? His family wasn't even in court today. And I was like, wow. And then when the perpetrator got up to say whatever last words the judge allowed him to say, he was very apologetic, or at least he, you know, we don't know, you know, we don't seem to think that he was really apologizing to us, but he did apologize to MTA workers. He apologized to Michael Haynes. We don't think the apologies were sincere. He did bring out that his, you know, initially when this whole thing happened, because he denied pulling the gun out. Obviously, that's why he went to trial, and he lost in trial. And the fact that what I thought was very telling was when he got up there on the stand and basically said that his mother didn't even believe him, right? Because he's done so much with his life, and he was proclaiming to try to clean up his life, and that this situation that happened that day was a day that he basically tried to blame the bus operator, that the bus operator ruined things for him. But at the same time, his own mother turned her back, and wouldn't even come to court. So that tells you once your mother has given up on you, it's just sad. I'm just gonna say it's sad. So we have to go to court. We got a court date on Thursday, 9 a.m. 161st Street. Anthony Nelson, his perpetrator, will be, I think he's going to either be tried or some type of preliminary hearing. There is definitely something going on. We would like the membership to show up at the 161st Street courtroom, and we'll be outside for a while, and before we go in, come on down if you can, please. It means a lot. It means a lot to these members to come down. Now, moving on from that, you know, or it's not really moving on. I'm going to segue it and ask you, what does unity look like? You know, I've shop-gated these things, and I just want to make an honorable mention. I was supposed to do shop gates today at Michael J. Quill Depot, and I was supposed to do shop gates tomorrow at Manhattanville Depot. And I can plan these things, and then just like that, things can change, because I may have to do some things like go to court or do some other things to support. So that kind of like amped me up to do a live to let people know I'm out here working. And I do apologize for not getting to Manhattanville and Michael J. Quill while I've been to every other location that's under my purview, Manhattanville and Michael J. Quill is the only locations that I haven't yet done a shop gate in, and it's not taking those places for granted. I do know that they have heavy support for me, and I just want you to know that I've just been out here working, and I will get to your locations very, very soon. I was supposed to be there today and tomorrow. Unfortunately, I had to be in court, and to me that takes precedence to make sure that we can support a member, and that a member will feel great that his union stood behind him. And tomorrow is the same thing. I have to go to court again, right? And then I also have to go to SIR tomorrow. That's Special Investigation and Review, and I have to represent some members down there. So we will definitely get to the shop gates as soon as we can, right? But what does unity look like? And that was my question. What does unity look like? And I'm gonna leave. I want to leave that kind of as an unanswered question. I want you guys to answer it. I want you to type it in. What does unity look like for you? And I'll when I go off this live, will definitely come back and answer some of those things. Some of what y'all are saying. In fact, I want to put a little disclaimer. I will definitely answer any posting that you put up there. I will answer it when I come off of this live. For now, I just want to go through kind of what I'm talking about. But what does unity look like? For me, unity looks like support, and if support of any kind. When your member's down and out, a friend could be down and out. If sometimes we one hand helps the other hand. Sometimes it can be about doing a barbecue and getting together and make sure that we all can do something for maybe a particular family day or depot function. It doesn't matter. We just need to be unified in the process, right? We know what it is on the road. We know maybe we don't like our leaders or our followers, and things happen out there. But at the end of the day, we are family at work, right? You're gonna be here a long time. Make sure that you don't take things personal, and at the end of the day, be your brothers and sisters' keeper. What unity looks like for me is to make sure that you have each other's back at all times, right? Now, we got a general pick coming up. The posting of that pick has been posted on the 19th, right? That happened already. So next week we'll be starting to pick. The incumbents will be picking. There's not too many incumbents around anymore. The incumbents pretty much last a week, not even. And then we go right into maybe the crossover picking and then the consolidated picking. A lot of people moved up on the pick board. We've had a lot of people retire. In fact, I was even asked, why did I think, in an article, I was asked, why did I think so many people were retiring? And my answer was because of the pandemic. A lot of people was, they saw people die in these MTA facilities. They took home a virus. They may have had underlying conditions, and they could not battle off this COVID sickness, and they picked it up at work, quite frankly, and people were scared, and they decided, you know what, enough is enough. When they got their time, they retired, right? And that's what it is. So the general pick is starting for us. I want to put this out here for everybody to hear. Don't come for no transfers over water. Brooklyn to Manhattan in the Bronx, or Manhattan and Bronx to Brooklyn. We're getting ready to start a pick. It just doesn't make any sense to move people right now. All right? And we want you to pick where you want to go. If you got religious observances that you need to observe, pick the division and the location and the hours that will give you the days off that are required for you to practice your religion. All right, please do that. It will also be memorialized at the pick. The pick chair people will let you know that if especially if you're known to have religious observance, they're going to tell you to pick either, if you can find the days off in any other location, you must pick it. If you can't find the days off nowhere, and your religious observance is what it is, then you will not. Your religious observance will always be honored. But the minute that you can pick the days off somewhere, you must take it. All right. So, as far as the general pick, also the rules, we took a sharp look at the rules and some of the changes. This year, they tried to MTA, New York City Transit, tried to take away the COVID. Like if you were sick because of COVID, that you would you would fall to the 30-day rule and be considered a no pick. We got that put into the pick rules, so you got a 90-day window and it's for COVID only. All right. Ethnic events. I believe now. What does unity look like? Listen, support all the ethnic events. We have. We just had the African American Day Parade this past Sunday. It was a lovely event. We got Italian Day coming up, and we have the Hispanic Heritage Day, which is coming up on I think that's on October 12th. Yeah, that is on October 12th to be exact. So you got Hispanic Heritage Celebration. That will be at the Union Hall. You can sign up. They have something called Linktree, and I'll get to that in a moment, where you can sign up for these events. You can sign up to make sure that your address, telephone number, your email, everything is up to date, and the union has all your information, right? So you gotta make sure that you go to these ethnic events and support everybody's ethnicity. All right. So right now that you got the Hispanic Heritage Celebration is going to be on October 12th, and then shortly thereafter will be Italian Day. All right. I want to also give an honorable mention about making strides against breast cancer, which will be October 16th. The union has a page through the Women's Committee which you can donate. And I also want to shout out Tanya Thompson out of West Farms Depot, who I always personally support. I always personally donate funds to her walk, and I would urge you to donate to whomever you know that does this walk, including the union sponsored one as well. I would support it all. All right. It's a great undertaking. It's for trying to find a cure. Right? There's no cure. I mean, they have things that they do. I know folks who have suffered with breast cancer. I know folks who have suffered with all types of cancers. I have family members, so it's very important to me. So I'm always involved in supporting that. All right. Now, I want to talk about Linktree, and I want to actually show you how to get on Linktree. So I'm gonna link here. I'm typing it in so to make sure I get it right. Link. There we go. So here we have something called Linktree. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. You go. In fact, and I want you to hear what it's called. LINK It's called Linktree. So what Linktree is, it allows you to see what all the events are that's going on in the union. It's matter of fact, I'm going to show you once you log in. It's Linktree, and you put when you start typing in Linktree, you're going to see TWU. Let me turn down this light so you can. I don't know if y'all can see that. So this is for those who's watching. What it is you have these events here, right? And you're able to sign up for all the events right here. You give your information, your address, make sure it's correct, phone number, email, all of that stuff, and then you can sign up for the events. You can request how many tickets that you're gonna, or bands that you're gonna request, so you can be a part of what's going on. Now, previously, what we did is we had flyers that would go out there, right? And flyers, and then you had to set the flyers back up by a certain amount of time. You had the flyers in by a certain amount of time, and then you had somebody that had to go through. This is a much easier way to register. So you can go to Linktree, and I'm gonna go back to it. It's Linktree, linktr.ee/TW Local 100, and then this drop box will pop up for Linktree, and then you can get on here and do your magic and sign up. Right? This is part of what's going on in the communications department, so that we can make sure that the members are informed of what's going on at your union hall, because this is your union hall. And in addition to the communications part, is the TWU, your union, has what's called a monthly recap. So right now they're up to their third monthly recap. In fact, let me also go to. If you go here, I'm gonna turn this light down again. I want to show y'all something. Now, by all means, I'm not a professional camera guy. You know, I'm doing all this off of a cell phone, but I want to show you on Linktree where I told you the drop down boxes. Now they have here the TW recap. So you press that, and what will happen is you'll get the YouTube link, and it's going to show you what has been going on in that particular month, right? We're up to our third one. You can go to also the YouTube, the TW YouTube, and check out the previous ones. You have 1, 2, and 3, and I think this is a good thing for a recap of what's going on. You'll see Brother Richard Davis addressing the crowd at Bangladeshi Day, and you can see what your union reps are doing, what your members are doing, because it's not only for to let you know what the union reps are doing, it's also to let you know what everybody is doing, the membership, and what their job functions are, whether they're fixing a train or air brakes on a train, or whether they're turning a wrench on a bus, or whatever the case of your job gets to be recognized, and you'll be able to see it in real time and be very proud that that this is what we do, and we're bringing it up to you first and foremost. All right, and that's your Linktree. All right, and your TW monthly recap. You can get that off of Linktree. By all means, whoever's on the computer, or get it and do it and start signing up. I want to talk to you guys about Gotham Gazette. Now, the Gotham Gazette had I guess approached the TW for comment, because one of the MTA board members said that there's an uptick. They made a question to somebody in the DOB. I'll leave them nameless because I really didn't know who it was. think it's a guy named Smith, but I'm not 100% sure. And what they approached him on is how come there's an uptick in accidents and an uptick in retirements, right? So why is there an uptick in accidents? And the answer that the Department of Buses gave was because we have so many retirees going on, retirements happening, that we're hiring, the training might not have been sufficient for the mass hiring that was done. So they asked, of course, I was asked for a comment, and I commented. I didn't agree. I didn't agree with Mr. Smith. I certainly don't think that it's because of lack of training. I mean, we have. I think the training school does a pretty good job of training the bus operators, and in addition, when they get into the depots, we have mentors, and they're with a mentor, and a mentor is teaching them things. So I don't agree with Mr. Smith. What I was saying, what I believe the problems are and why the accidents may have increased is because of the congestion, and we're sharing the road with bicyclists, e-bikes, e-skateboards, e-skates, all of these bicyclists, all of these different things, and then the shrinking of the road, Uber, Lyft, they're all out there. When we was driving the bus, we didn't deal with all of that. And when we was driving the bus, it still was a lot to deal with. The young folks that's operating now, y'all are dealing with a lot. And I'm just going to tell y'all, you have to just take your time. Don't rush. Because these e-bikes and these e-skateboards, you cannot hear them. And if you take your eye off for a minute, they zooming by, zoom. And you know what? You don't hear the zoom. You may hear the wind. That's it. A little tap of the wind. And that's what our operators are dealing with out there. We are dealing with a lot. So I reject what the guys from the Department of Buses said. I reject that statement. I think it's incorrect. I think they're not addressing what the real problems are. And the real problems is the fact that the city of New York feels that bicyclists have more rights than motorists. That's what I think. And it's just, plain to see all the bike lanes you see out there, and everybody. And lastly, there's no enforcement of any wrongdoing on the road. They do what the hell they want to do, right? Nobody stops them. The police certainly don't stop them. And then who blames the police? Who blames them? The police don't get support right now, right? They make an arrest. They're coming out. They're coming out in a couple hours, right? They're coming out in a couple hours, or it's being tossed. So the police is like, well, why the hell should I even enforce the law, right? And that's just an opinion. It's not a fact, but it certainly looks like that's what's going on. And I made these comments in the Gotham Gazette. You can look on this page. There's a link to the Gotham Gazette, and you can see what I said there. Now, I'm just going to go into. I'm going to get ready to close down this live, and just let y'all know, like, since being elevated to vice president from the executive board, I've been involved with the Bronx redesign, and as I told you earlier, I got involved with the Department of Security and really got into the logistics of these assaults and the SITS reports and what they're used for, and basically tracking the stats of everything. And this is what I'm into right now, and we're talking about it constantly. I'm having meetings with the chairs about these things. The chairs are having meetings with their people, and we're trying to make things better. We're trying to make life better, and that's all we really want, is we want life to be better for all of us. All right. I've been involved, like I said, with the assault trends, in workplace violence and prevention. I've also was in a meeting with Department of Security heads over what's deemed workplace violence and prevention and what's deemed a labor relation issues, because too many times, and I'm just going to make this as an honorable mention, too many times we have employee on employee incidents. They're calling up on each other and they make it to the workplace violence and prevention. And we have to, and I was in a meeting where we was actually going over these things. And I just want you guys to know that workplace violence against each other should not exist. And if it just so happened to happen, because we live in the real world where shit happens, I just want you to know that you should let the union get involved and try not to get management involved in those things, right? Because, you know, technically termination is what they say. They have no tolerance for these things, so termination would be the things that they're asking for. Again, since I've been vice president, we visited with my team, Division Chairman Sean Battaglia and Division Chairman Claude Marshall and myself. We went to Zariga, spoke to safety and training management, and one of the things that I spoke to them about was the biannual recertification of our bus operators' CDL licenses, and in the recertification, particularly of your medical. And what we got into was something, it was like a little unwritten rule that was put into place in 2012 when Stephen Vidal was the head of Zariga, and motor vehicles was changing their policies. We came up with something that if it wasn't of the fault of the bus operator, then what will happen is you will maybe sit on the bench for the day until you get your recertification. And we had such incidences that had happened in Michael J. Quill and in Gun Hill Depot. And we had a situation where a bus operator, I want to talk specific to Gun Hill Depot, we had a bus operator sign the slip. It was supposed to be, he had a recertification date for the MAC Center. He signed the slip that he was on vacation and he would have to be rescheduled, and they never rescheduled him for the MAC Center. So what happened was when his day, he was on vacation, when he came back, he was out of compliance, and automatically they went to either holding him out, changing his day off to get him recertified. Now, prior to this happening, I sent out a memo to all my chairs and division chairs about enforcing this biannual recertification rule that I was just finished talking to you guys about. And in Gun Hill, they tried to change this guy's days off. So we was getting in touch with management, and to no avail. You know, depot management wasn't cooperating. I ended up getting in touch with the general manager of the Bronx. And by the way, honorable mention to Tom Brown. Tom Brown is doing an excellent job up in Gun Hill Depot. He really fights for those members, and I really like what he's doing, and I wanted to shout him out. And he's the one that brought it to my attention when it was going on, and we had it fixed. They ended up having to pay him. I have an email from the general manager who apologized for what happened and basically said that we were correct, and they paid the guy. Same situation happened in Michael J. Quill, and it goes with the notion that we all know already. Management, from one side to the other, they don't seem to talk to each other about things that's going on, or they play dumb. I don't know. But that's something that I decided to enforce, and I want to make sure that stays enforced. And I want you guys, now that you've heard it, to make sure that you talk to your chairman about it, when you come up for your recertifications, and if it's through no fault of your own, like you fall on vacation or whatever, and you miss your recertification, you talk to your chairman. All the chairmen know what to do, right? So by all means, we're going to enforce that. I'm still making all the rounds to my different locations. When I did as a division chair, I went to all locations. I continue to do that. I do my check-ins. I may check with you on the line. I may come out to your pullout, or may come to the depot. I may even shoot some pool with you, right? Don't take that as me taking advantage of everything. That's me. That's my way of wanting to break bread and be with my members. If you see me playing pool, that's all it really is. I'm having a time with you guys, man, and that's because I love you guys at the end of the day, and I love breaking bread with you, right? Newslettering, as I said earlier in this live, I got a newsletter coming out. It should be out tomorrow. It'll be the second one. You can also, let me show you guys real quick I want to show y'all something. All right, now we're gonna go to the TW website. Now if you don't know what the TW website is, I'm telling you now. It's www.local100.org, right? And let's go. This is your website, right? twlocal100.org. Let me turn down the light so you can see it, right? Now, for those of you in particular departments, now let me turn this a little bit here. What you're going to do is, I'm going to make this bigger so you can see. What you're going to do is you're going to go into your departments, right? Now, the drop-down window comes up, and you'll see all the departments. For those of you who belong to Manhattan and the Bronx, I'm going to tell you to click on Map Store. Click on Map Store, right? So that window opens up, right? Now, you can click on Offices, you can click on Contact, and your depot listing. There's also an electronic version of the newsletter here, and here you click that right here, and as you can see, that is the newsletter we wrote for that came out in the July, right? This is what came out in July, right? So this is the newsletter that came out in July. You have another newsletter that's coming out. Matter of fact, because I'm feeling good about it, I'm gonna give y'all all a synopsis of what that newsletter is gonna look like. It's not up, it's not out yet. It's going to print, and I want y'all to know. This is with the newsletter. Let it load. That's the newsletter that's coming out for this month. Now, in this picture is in West Farms. John Mullane did 39 years of service. 39 years of service. He was the #1 man on the job, and he is now retired officially. We had a little breakfast with him. In this article, it talks about Sean Battaglia. He ran unopposed, so now he's the division chairman for Mapstore Division 1. Then there's an article that I wrote on the paid family leave law, because and in particularly because there was a lot of rumors and narratives and half truths and totally falsehoods that were going out on that particular subject. So it prompted me to do some research on the subject and print out some facts. It's based on some of the things that we know as true. So it'll be in the newsletter. We also, like I told you about the SITS reporting. I got Richard Fields here talking to the New York City Transit president, Richard Davey, and he was addressing Mr. Davey about assaults. Okay, Richard Fields is the chairman of Kingsbridge Depot. He's very, very passionate about assaults. Formerly was on the BOAC committee, and we was hoping that he would probably lead that again, but you know, that thing is kind of still up in the air. And here I'm talking to you about the SITS reporting. All right, so this newsletter will be out there. This is our career and salary folks. They're part of the MAP Stower maintenance group, and this is the ratification of their contract. And this is the facts laid out on the Michael J. Quill Depot. And, you know, the Post had reported that it was falling down and we need to run for the hills. Well, I beg to differ that the Post lied to you again. And anyway, and this is us doing route checks on the M14, which is one of our higher assault routes in Manhattan. And and I want to make an honorable mention. Cool Clyde is up in Gun Hill Depot. I did it. He does a podcast called Your Voice, and he not a podcast. He it's like I might be mistakenly call it a podcast, but it views out on cable. And it's on YouTube. It goes out on channel 67 on Verizon and several other channels on the other cable networks. So we had a conversation about certain things, and you could check it out. When he drops it to me, I'll share the link. But it's also going to be on TV playing for about a month or so. And that's really it. You know, my job is to give everybody their shine and their due, and to tell you what's going on. Right? That's the newsletter. I again, since being elected vice president, I've also been involved and trained in OSHA 30, so I have my certification, which I understand has no expiration date on that certification. So I have a OSHA 30 certification based off the training that I received. Since becoming the vice president, I've been to the Department of Security, and we pay attention to the patterns, the trends, and what's going on in court. Again, like I mentioned in the newsletter, Michael J. Quill Roof Project, protecting our PIC rights from the what management tries to get out of us. And lastly, I'm going to close now, guys, because I don't like to be long-winded. I just want to put a message out here. I want to put a prayer out there for Giovanna Ortiz from West Farms Depot. It's the operator that had the situation in the Bronx, and we're all praying for her, and I want everybody to continue to do so while she's still fighting for her life. And with that said, I'm going to close this live, and I will answer. I'll stay on as far as answering any questions that you guys may have. And listen, be safe, and remember, what does unity look like? And I think unity looks like it starts with a conversation of respect. Let's be respectful to each other. If you don't like what I'm doing, that's fine. Contact me, text me, tell me something that I can do better, and I will definitely try. That's how I am. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I'm about my membership, about my people, and if I make mistakes, I make mistakes. Correct me, and I will do my best. All right? And with that being said, I'm going to close on this. Be safe, everybody.